There you have a moment. Check this out.
Here is why the death of Jesus was the only way mankind could be saved. It used to make no sense to me that the solution to mankind's sin problem was God coming down as a man and then dying. But with maturity, this can now be explained for all of our understanding. Firstly, you must understand what Adam forfeited at the time of the fall. In Genesis 1 verse 26, God says, "Let us make mankind in our image and likeness, that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds of the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." What Adam was offered was the opportunity to be an ambassador of heaven on earth, ruling the earth in accordance with the will of God. That is why we humans are tripartite, spirit, soul, and body. The idea is that our spiritual body was to allow us to communicate and download the information from God. We process it in our soul, and then we execute in our body in alignment with God's will. When Satan tempted Adam and Eve, he tempted them with the ability to be their own God, independent of God in heaven. And when Adam and Eve ran the analysis, they said, "This sounds like a better deal." At this point, they became cursed with a corrupted nature, amongst other things. And just like we inherit things from our parents, we also have inherited that corrupted nature from Adam and Eve. And the only way to be free of all such generational curses is that someone in the bloodline must rise up and say enough is enough. And Jesus was that person for the human race. In the spiritual realm, there are a number of laws, but the law that God utilized to free mankind is the law of substitution. Though Jesus was obedient in all the ways that mankind is rebellious, Jesus chose to take on the consequences of sin, which is death, so that in an act of substitution, Jesus, identifying with mankind and assuming the curses and death that was due us, made it possible for us, by identifying with him, to assume all the blessings and rewards that were due him. Notice how the scales have been balanced in the spirit. Through one man, man inherited a fallen nature, and yet still through another man, by accepting him and receiving his Holy Spirit, we're able to walk in a new nature that is the divine nature. This is why in John 12:24, Jesus says, "I tell you, a grain of wheat must fall to the ground and die to make many seeds." Jesus was not a philosopher or guru that gave us a system of belief, which is what we reduce him to when we're religious. Jesus' death, resurrection, and ascension allowed for the release of the Holy Spirit, which when that Spirit is allowed to manifest fully in our vessel, a new nature is expressed. And that nature produces the version of ourselves that can do what Adam was supposed to do, which is with power and authority, bring the government of God into the earthly realm.